What's going on? Alex here, and today I'm answering your questions from Reddit. This first question comes from Storf. I got tricked by a phishing email. I saw an email from Apple ID and of course checked it. I saw that my Apple ID information needed updating or it would be deleted. So, being the idiot that I am, thought, well, I don't want that to happen, and filled out the information as requested. It wasn't until 30 minutes later that I realized all of the many sketchy things that had happened. Like, why would Apple need my social security number? So I called my bank, canceled my card, changed my Apple ID password, email password, and a few other accounts using the same email password. And I called a couple of credit places to freeze my stuff. Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Any help is appreciated. Thanks. All right, Storf. So the comments captured a lot of the important steps you need to take in order to protect your personal finances. So freezing your credit reports, that's vital. Having them issue you new debit cards and so forth, absolutely important. So the comments captured a lot of these steps, so I'm not going to go over them in detail. But there are a few steps that they did leave out, so I want to cover them right now. Now, you want to protect yourself from a tax perspective, because what people can do if they have your personal information is file fraudulent tax returns to try to obtain a refund using your tax info. So with that being the case, there are a few steps that you could take to protect yourself both at the federal and state levels, and I'm going to show you how. So if you Google IRS identity theft form, it'll bring you to IRS identity theft assistance, how it works. So namely, you'd be interested in this section right here. It says, you tell us you may be a tax-related identity theft victim. Now, this is going to instruct you to file Form 14039, which is identity theft affidavit. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so we open up this form, and you can see how this is laid out. You'd be submitting it for yourself, all right? And you send this directly to the IRS, and you describe what scenario applies to you. So in this case, you'd say, I don't know if someone used my information to file taxes, but I'm a victim of identity theft. And you describe the circumstances here. Put your information in there, you sign it, submit it by mail at this address, or you can submit it by fax. So there's a few conditions that apply, so read the instructions carefully, make sure you submit it in the right manner. So what's going to happen while you file this form is the IRS is essentially going to put a fraud flag on your account and determine whether any tax returns that are filed may be suspicious before they process them. So that's going to add an additional layer of security for you to make sure that no fraudulent returns are filed in your name. In addition, they may send you an identity protection PIN or IP PIN. So this is going to tell the IRS that the return actually originated with you. So if anybody that has your personal information tries to file a tax return without this number on it, it's going to get rejected. And that applies to a paper filed return or an electronically filed return. So this is a pretty powerful tool at the federal level to make sure that no fraudulent returns are filed in your name with the IRS. So that's at the IRS level. The states typically have their own identity theft compliance system. So if we Google, let's say California, that's the state that I'm in, the Franchise Tax Board, which is our beloved taxing authority here in California, has a similar form. So right here, you go through it. You would say that I'm a victim of identity theft, and I believe I may be at risk of future impact to my tax account. Or you're a potential victim, I believe it may be at risk. So you basically describe the situation. It's very similar to the form that you would file at the IRS level, and you could simply Google whatever your state is and add to it identity theft, and that would pretty much get you started on the path to determining what forms you need to file at the state level to also protect yourself from that respect. So freezing your credit accounts, definitely a good step. Getting all your credit cards reissued and your debit cards reissued as well, also good steps. But in addition, you want to protect yourself from a tax perspective, and that's what filing of the IRS Form 14039 is going to do for you. And at the FTB level, if you're in California, then you'd be looking at Form 3552. So aside from the IP PIN, you also want to monitor any notices that you get from the federal or state taxing authorities. Just make sure that any letters they send you make sense. And also, you want to confirm that any letters you do get actually originated with either the IRS or your state taxing authorities. And the way to do that is to simply call them. If it's the IRS, the number IRS phone taxpayer, Google it just like that, and you click on telephone assistance, IRS phone numbers, and then it'll show you the phone number right here. So the number for individuals is 800-829-1040. So you call that number directly and you confirm with the IRS representative whether a letter you received from the IRS originated with them. And you could do the same thing at the state level. So you'd Google phone number and your state taxing authority, and there should be a number on there. So if you get a notice from the state, you want to reach out to them and make sure it's legitimate, because we know somebody out there may have your personal information. We just don't want them to actually be able to use it in a way that benefits them and is a detriment to you. So hopefully this was helpful. If you've been the victim of identity theft at the federal or state levels, tell me about it in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Thanks for watching.